In ancient times, Yang Di, the Flame Emperor, had a young daughter named Nua. Lively and brave, she loved listening to her attendants describe the spectacular sunrise over the East China Sea and constantly pestered her father to let her go see it. Unable to resist Nua's pleas, Yang Di finally agreed. Overjoyed, Nua boarded a ship with her attendants, stood at the bow waving goodbye, her heart brimming with anticipation for the East China Sea sunrise. But when the ship reached the middle of the East China Sea, the weather suddenly turned for the worse. Dark clouds hung low, and violent winds whipped up towering waves that crashed against the small vessel. The ship tossed and turned, on the verge of capsizing at any moment. Suddenly, a wave higher than a mountain crashed down, sweeping Nua into the deep sea. The attendants fought desperately to save her, but the ferocious wind and waves left them with no chance. Nua's spirit drifted above the waves. She refused to accept being devoured by the sea and resented its cruelty. Gradually, her spirit transformed into a small bird, which people named Jingwei. Jingwei perched on a reef by the shore, staring at the sea that had swallowed her. She made a firm vow, "I will fill you up, so you can never harm anyone again." With that, she flew toward the mountains in the west. Jingwei reached the western hills, where she picked up pebbles in her beak and grasped twigs with her claws. No matter how the mountain sparrows tried to persuade her, the sea is too vast, you'll never fill it, she paid no heed, flying straight back to the East China Sea with her load. She reached the sea and dropped the pebbles and twigs into the water, but they were instantly swallowed up, making no difference at all. Undeterred, Jingwei turned around and flew back to the western hills, repeating the journey tirelessly. When Yang Di learned of his daughter's fate, he went to the shore to search for her. At a glance, he recognized the bird flying back and forth as his own daughter. He tried to dissuade her with a heavy heart, but Jingwei only circled around him crying, then resolutely resumed her mission of filling the sea. Day after day, year after year, Jingwei shuttled between the western hills and the East China Sea, never resting even when her wings ached with fatigue. Touched by her perseverance, other birds joined her, carrying stones to help fill the sea. Fishermen by the sea often told the story of Jingwei fills the sea to their children, saying, "Though Jingwei is tiny, her unyielding spirit is mightier than the sea itself." The children looked up to Jingwei as a role model. The tribe's teacher also taught this story to his students, explaining, "Jingwei fills the sea is not about competing with nature out of spite. It tells us that with unwavering resolve and perseverance, no task is too difficult to accomplish." Once, a young farmer was working in the fields and felt like giving up from exhaustion. Looking up, he saw Jingwei flying overhead, and he remembered her perseverance in filling the sea. He immediately tightened his grip on his hoe and kept working. The elder farmer smiled and said, "With this kind of persistence, the crops are sure to yield a bumper harvest." Year after year, Jingwei's figure never disappeared between the mountains and the sea. More and more birds joined her cause, and gradually, several small sandbars emerged in the East China Sea. Her perseverance had truly changed the sea. Key takeaway: Jingwei fills the sea does not mean we should fight against nature. It reminds us that the power of perseverance is the most precious treasure. No matter how great the difficulties, with determination and persistence, we will surely draw closer to our goals.